So, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, it's an amazing game. You have all this cross-platform thing with the Vita and the Sony PlayStation 3. What were some of the challenges when bringing that to life?
Yeah, as you're probably aware, you know, the PS3 version and the Vita version are very faithful to each other, but obviously the Vita, you know, isn't as powerful as the PS3 in terms of hardware. So what we had to do is, you know, make a lot of adjustments to the graphics and really try to shrink it down so that it was still faithful to the original console game, but was able to play on this, you know, portable system. But, you know, in Japan, we're very good at taking big things and shrinking them down into small things. So, you know, I think it turned out really well. You can see right here we have the cross-play on display. And despite, you know, the differences in the power of the two platforms, you'll find that it runs completely smooth. And then if you have any kind of online battles or cross-play battles, it works perfectly smooth without any hitches. So, you know, we're very proud of the amount of work we put into Cross Tekken Vita, and cross-play is definitely one thing we want everyone to check out.
How are you taking advantage of the Vita's like hardware capabilities? I mean, you got the touch screen on the front and the back, and even the tilt controls. Are you taking advantage of that all of this game?
As we mentioned, we put in a lot of effort into making the Cross Tekken Vita a faithful port of the console experience, but we also want to say that it's not going to be just a normal port. We've added in a lot of new features, new capabilities that fully take advantage of the hardware that the Vita has to offer. So you'll find that we do utilize the front and rear touch panels, as well as the camera for AR capabilities, as well as near functionality, and, you know, all sorts of other, you know, nifty things that the Vita can do. We're going to be releasing more details about it in the coming months, and especially at San Diego Comic-Con next month, or I guess later on this month. But yeah, definitely we want everyone to come check out the new features that we have. At the panel yesterday, we showed how you can customize your characters using the front the touch screen. So basically all you need to do is touch the screen to be able to customize the color and different things like that. It's very intuitive and very well designed, we think. And one other thing we have is virtual buttons, where you can basically assign virtual buttons to the front or rear touch panel to compensate for the lack of buttons on the Vita hardware. The other cool thing is that you can change the position or the size of those buttons as well. So it gives the users a lot of freedom in how they want to customize their controls.
You guys are adding a ton of new characters to Street Fighter Cross Tekken for the Vita. You got Blanca, you got a ton of more characters now. How does that come into the balancing aspect? With more characters, you have to do more balancing and more checking. Like, what are the challenges of doing that?
Yeah, as you mentioned, definitely, the more we add characters, the harder the balancing process becomes. So it's not like we can just throw them into the Street Fighter Cross Tekken ecosystem and hope for it to work out. So actually, what we're doing is when we're releasing the 12 new characters on July 31st, you know, as DLC, we're actually going to be releasing a balance patch at the same time that you know, fixes various issues that, you know, players had with the gameplay with regards to the console characters. So yeah, basically everything was going to be kind of refreshed and renewed at that point, and, you know, we're going to be working our hardest to make the balance in this game the best that it can possibly be.
My last question is, if you could hang out with any Street Fighter or Tekken character for one day, have a beer, see a movie, have lunch or dinner, which one would it be and why?
Yeah, it's a really tough question because there's so many great characters in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. For me, I'd have to choose Ryu and Kazuya, you know, because I really love these characters. And then if I was to spend one day with Kazuya, I want to join him on his quest for world domination. I think it'd be really cool to see what it would be like to take over the world for a day, just like hang out and then, you know, chill, have some drinks and enjoy, you know, watching the world crumble beneath our feet. If it was Ryu, on the other hand, you know, I think he'd be really introspective, always finding out what his weaknesses are. I'd like to spend a day with him, just sit down, have a deep, you know, man-to-man conversation about how we can improve ourselves and make things better.